Stop-motion animation in VideoStudio. You can make objects dance, play with your food, get creative with your shots, and bring your characters to life. Stop-motion animation can be used in a million different ways, including this next section. To get started, you'll need your computer with VideoStudio loaded, your DSLR or mirrorless camera. Most Canon and Nikon cameras are supported. And you need the USB cable to connect it to your computer, as well as a tripod or stack of books to bring your camera to the right height. And you'll need the star of your show, the characters that you're going to animate. You'll need a background or set. It could be some plain cardstock, a printed image, or something a bit more elaborate if you're into crafting. Also, pay attention to the lighting. Because my set has sides, I want a light from above, so a desk lamp duct taped to a microphone stand gets the light where I need it to be. You don't need fancy equipment to create something great. Get creative and work with what you have. Once everything is ready and your camera is focused on your characters, you'll be taking a photo for each frame of your animation, but everything is controlled from the computer. I can take a photo through the VideoStudio interface, then move my characters slightly, then take another photo, and keep repeating this process until the animation is done. But VideoStudio can provide some more advanced features than this simple process, so let's dive in. With VideoStudio open, go to the Capture tab and select Stop Motion. Make sure your camera is selected from the drop-down here. Then you can give the project a name, specify the folder the captured images will be saved to, and which folder within VideoStudio the project file will be saved in. Then we've got the stop motion settings. To talk about image duration, we have to understand frames per second. You'll be working with 30 frames per second by default, so for every second of animation, there are 30 still images. So image duration is how many frames each photo you take will display for. To get the smoothest movement, set this to 1 frame, and you'll take 30 photos for each second of animation. Or set it to 2 to only take 15 photos per second of animation. This will be a little jerkier, but should take you half the time to get through. You can then choose your capture resolution. It's probably best to just keep it at the same as DSLR setting, unless you want a particular resolution. You can jump into DSLR settings and adjust aperture, shutter speed, ISO, white balance, and exposure compensation. This is a complex area all of its own, so if you don't know what you're doing here, just leave your camera on auto and let your camera take care of this. And over here on the left, we've got focus controls, but I'm going to leave my camera set to autofocus. We can jump into enlarge mode for a bigger view to check things like focus and just see what we're doing a bit better. And now all of our camera controls are on the left and along the bottom, and our image capture controls are up here on the right. So let's go back to the smaller view and take a picture of our first frame by pressing the record button. The image we've just taken pops up on the timeline below. Now move our character slightly. And you can see we've got this ghost effect, where we can see the previous frame alongside what the camera is currently seeing. This is the onion skin, which can help you see where you just moved from. And we can fine-tune this up here. Slide it all the way to the left to just see the live camera view, and all the way to the right to just see the previous frame. So let's press record to take the next frame. But say I want more control. I want a particular movement to take a certain amount of time. Let's delete these 2 images from the timeline so we're starting again. Take the first photo. Now I want his arm to move from here to here, and take half a second to do so. I can use the line tool to do this. Just click and drag directly on the camera feed. This subdivides the line, which is set to 1 second in time across. So as we have image duration of 2 frames, this is 15 photos we'll need to take along this line. Let's change time across to half a second, and we can see there are now 7 or 8 positions. Then we just take a photo at each position along the line. The grid works in a similar way. Say we want our star to move across the screen in 1 second, at 2 frames of image duration, then the grid shows us 15 blocks of movement. The circle also works this way, except you can center where the circle is to match your subject. As you can see, it can take quite a while to build up just a few seconds of animation, but to speed things up, we can also use auto capture. I'll turn it on and then go to the settings. I'll set it to take a photo every 3 seconds and to take 10 photos. Then press record. If you give yourself enough time to move your character in between the photos, this could work really well, but be careful of leaving your fingers in shot. If you aren't quick enough, you'll need to stop the auto capture. Delete any photos that aren't right, and then start again from where you left off. Once you've got all your photos captured, you can start editing. Just go to Save, and then close Stop Motion, and go to the Edit tab. Your stop motion will be saved by default in the Samples folder. Just drag it to your timeline, and you can add text, effects, audio, or make cuts between multiple camera angles. Here's the finished animation we made after color grading and syncing up a drum beat to our conga player. And if you want to dive deeper into the creative decisions we took to make this and other stop-motion animations, see our behind the scenes of stop motion video. And happy editing!